GTA 6 release is getting closer day by day, so I think it's time that we talk about potential GTA 6 DLCs. If Rockstar makes them, even though I won't keep my hopes high. How about a DLC featuring characters from GTA 5? First off, GTA 5 wasn't just popular, it was a game changer. It's the best-selling game of the decade, and for good reason. The characters of Michael, Franklin, and Trevor became icons in their own right. So, bringing them into GTA 6 through DLC? That would be epic. Imagine this. You're cruising through Vice City, and suddenly you bump into an older Franklin, now a successful businessman. Or maybe you find Trevor running a shady operation in the Everglades. It'd be a cool way to see how their lives turned out after the events of GTA 5. But why would this DLC be so great? Well, it's all about continuity. GTA has always had this interconnected universe, with characters and references popping up across different games. This DLC could bridge the gap between Los Santos and whatever new city we'll be exploring in GTA 6. Plus, it'd be a nice nod to the fans who've stuck with the series for so long. GTA 5 has been around for over a decade now, and a lot of us have grown up with these characters. Seeing them again would be like catching up with old friends. Now, I'm not saying we need a full-on crossover. Just a mission or two, maybe some side quests involving our old crew. It'd add depth to the world and give us that hit of nostalgia we all secretly crave. So, what do you think? Would you be down for a GTA 5 character cameo in GTA 6? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Another DLC idea I have for GTA 6. An expansion protagonist, similar to what we saw in GTA 4. Remember how GTA 4 gave us The Lost and Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony? Those expansions were like getting 2 extra games, each with its own vibe and story. They showed us different sides of Liberty City through the eyes of new characters. That's what made them so fresh. Now, imagine we get something similar for GTA 6. We'd get to see the main game city from a whole new angle. Maybe we play as a cop trying to keep things under control, or a small-time criminal working their way up. It could even be someone from a completely different social circle, like a celebrity or a politician. The beauty of this approach is that it adds layers to the game world. You get to revisit familiar locations but with new context. That shady nightclub you robbed in the main game? Now you might be running it? That corrupt politician you dealt with? Now you're working for them, seeing how the other half lives. This kind of DLC also gives the developers a chance to experiment with new gameplay mechanics. They could introduce unique abilities or mission types that fit the new protagonist's background. It keeps the game fresh without having to build an entirely new world from scratch. Plus, it's a great way to explore themes or stories that didn't fit into the main game. Maybe the original story was all about the glitz and glamour of high-stakes heists. The DLC could show the grittier, street-level crime scene. And let's be real, who doesn't want more GTA content? An expansion protagonist gives us a reason to jump back into the game world we've come to know and love, but with a fresh perspective that makes it feel new again. Another DLC idea for GTA 6 that's been floating around my mind is a retro throwback to the 80s Vice City. Now that's a concept that could be straight fire. Vice City in the 80s is iconic. The neon lights, the synth music, the pastel suits. It's a whole aesthetic that people can't get enough of. Bringing that back in glorious modern graphics, that'd be like stepping into a time machine, but with ray tracing. This kind of DLC could also let Rockstar flex their creative muscles. They could recreate some of the classic missions from the original Vice City, but with current-gen physics and AI. Imagine the Demolition Man RC helicopter mission, but actually fun this time. Plus, it'd be a perfect way to bring back some fan-favorite characters. Young versions of Ken Rosenberg, Lance Vance, or even Tommy Vercetti, legal issues permitting. It'd be like catching up with old friends, but in their prime. The 80s setting also opens up some unique gameplay opportunities. Maybe we get to engage in some Cold War espionage, or dive deep into the Miami drug trade at its peak. There's so much potential for wild, over-the-top missions that fit perfectly with GTA's style. And let's not forget the music. GTA is known for its killer soundtracks, and an 80s Vice City DLC would be the perfect excuse to load up on classic tracks. Cruising around to some new wave or early hip-hop? Yes, please. This kind of retro DLC could appeal to both old-school fans who've been with the series since the PS2 days, and newer players who want to experience that classic Vice City vibe with modern gameplay. So yeah, I'm all for taking a trip back to the 80s in GTA 6. It's a chance to revisit a beloved era of the franchise while still pushing forward with new ideas. Alright, let's dive into a wild idea that's been lurking in the shadows, a spooky or horror-themed DLC for GTA 6. This could be Rockstar's chance to embrace all those creepy urban legends and bizarre theories that fans have been cooking up for years. GTA has always had this undercurrent of weirdness. Remember the Bigfoot rumors in San Andreas or the ghost of Mount Gordo in GTA 5? A horror DLC could take all those eerie vibes and crank them up to 11. This DLC could introduce a whole new gameplay style to GTA. Instead of just shooting and driving, you might have to solve cryptic puzzles, sneak past supernatural threats, or even engage in some psychological horror. It'd be a fresh twist on the GTA formula. Rockstar could go all out with the atmosphere. Fog rolling in off the swamps, creepy abandoned mansions, maybe even some otherworldly locations that blur the line between reality and nightmare. They've got the tech to make it look insanely good. And let's talk about the potential stories they could tell. Maybe you're investigating a series of ritualistic murders or trying to break a curse that's fallen over the city. It could tie into some of the existing GTA lore, like the Epsilon program or the Mount Chiliad mystery. This kind of DLC would also be a perfect opportunity to introduce some wild new vehicles and weapons. Imagine tricking out a hearse for ghost hunting, or using experimental tech to fight off zombies. The possibilities are endless. The best part? It'd give Rockstar a chance to poke fun at horror tropes while still delivering genuine scares. They could parody classic horror movies one minute, then hit you with something truly unsettling the next. Now I know some folks might say, horror doesn't fit GTA's vibe. But remember, GTA has always been about pushing boundaries and subverting expectations. A horror DLC would be the perfect way to keep players on their toes. How about a GTA 6 DLC inspired by Undead Nightmare? Imagine Vice City overrun by some kind of catastrophe, turning the bustling metropolis into a survival playground. This could be Rockstar's chance to blend the chaos of GTA with the intensity of a survival horror game. This DLC could flip the GTA formula on its head. Instead of building your criminal empire, you're just trying to stay alive. Scavenging for supplies, fortifying safe houses, and rescuing survivors could become your new mission types. The open world of GTA would be perfect for this kind of survival scenario. You could have different areas of the city affected in different ways. Maybe downtown is a total loss, but the suburbs are still holding out. This would create natural progression as you venture deeper into danger for better rewards. Rockstar could go wild with the vehicle customizations here. Imagine armoring up a sports car with scavenged metal, or turning a bus into a mobile fortress. Your ride wouldn't just be for showing off anymore. It'd be your lifeline. The weapon system could get an overhaul too. Crafting makeshift weapons, modifying existing ones to deal with the new threats. There's a lot of potential here. And let's not forget about the weird and wacky special weapons Rockstar could dream up. This DLC could also dive into some darker storytelling. How do people react when society breaks down? Who rises to power in the chaos? It's a chance to explore some heavy themes while still keeping that signature GTA satirical edge. Multiplayer could be insane. Imagine teaming up with friends to hold off waves of enemies, or competing to gather the most supplies. Or maybe even a battle royale mode where the circle is the encroaching disaster. The best part? This kind of DLC would give us a reason to explore every nook and cranny of the map all over again. That convenience store you never bothered with in the main game? Now it might be a crucial supply point. Now, I know some might say this is too far from the GTA formula. But remember, Rockstar pulled off Undead Nightmare for Red Dead Redemption. They've got the chops to make something like this work in the GTA universe. So yeah, I'm all for a survival-focused DLC that turns Vice City into an apocalyptic playground. It'd be a fresh take on the GTA world, and give us a whole new way to experience the city we've come to know. GTA 6 DLC focused on the underworld crime syndicate. We're talking about going deep into the heart of Vice City's organized crime scene. This DLC could really lean into the whole Miami crime vibe. We're talking lavish parties on yachts, tense negotiations in back rooms of glitzy nightclubs, and high-speed boat chases through the Everglades. It's a chance to explore the glamorous and dangerous side of organized crime. The missions could be all about building and protecting your criminal empire. You might start with simple protection rackets, then move up to drug smuggling, money laundering, and eventually controlling entire industries. Each step up the ladder brings more power, but also more enemies. Rockstar could introduce a whole new system for managing your criminal organization. Recruit lieutenants, assign territories, broker alliances with other gangs or corrupt officials. It'd add a strategic layer to the usual GTA mayhem. This setting is perfect for introducing some complex, morally gray characters. Maybe you've got a mentor in the organization who's looking out for you, but can you really trust them? Or a rival boss who respects your skills but won't hesitate to take you out if you become a threat. The DLC could also dive into the international aspect of organized crime, dealing with cartels from South America, triads from Asia, or mafias from Europe could add some global flavor to the story. And let's not forget the law enforcement angle. As you rise through the ranks, you'll have to deal with increasingly sophisticated police operations. It could be a constant cat-and-mouse game, trying to stay one step ahead of the feds. Now, I know some might say this is too close to the main GTA formula, but I think focusing specifically on organized crime, rather than the usual free-for-all criminal activities, could give it a distinct flavor. What do you think of these DLC ideas? Let me know in the comments and which one you think is best. I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe to the channel.